Hi, I'm Dr. David Biedebach with Conejo Chiropractic Relief Center in Thousand Oaks, California. I'm here to share with you a video on how to work at a computer without creating chronic recurrent low back pain or even more serious problems from that. We all spend a lot of time on the computer and frequently too much time on the computer. The biggest problem is we spend too much time without realizing we went 3 or 5 hours straight. But this particular posture I'm going to show you actually works. It's very easy to learn, but you do have to work it to learn it. And when you do, it will eliminate a lot of that problem. There is no chair you can buy that works so perfectly it'll move with you because we all lean forward. When you watch the video, I hope you enjoy it. So many of us are in front of a computer, especially if you're housebound for any reason, or if you're a student crunching the time for finals and midterms, or anything like with your work or working at home or in shelter process. But even at work, it's the same thing. We're there for too many hours a day, and the problem is we can't hold our posture correctly. The best of chairs, not that this is, but it is for what I'm going to demonstrate in just a few moments. The best of work chairs that even move with you, you tend to be moving into the computer. We're trying to get a better visual presentation on our eyes. We're learning and we're leaning in. Well, what happens is you tend to hang on your ligaments very quickly. What are ligaments? They are what holds us together. So the ligaments hold my elbow together, my muscles and tendons move it around through the joint, coming in with the cartilage and smoothness and so forth. Well, the ligaments are what's called avascular, meaning no blood supply. They only get it by movement. Well, when you sit like this repeatedly, you program yourself to hold a certain position, and they dehydrate. Same thing when you drive in a car in a long way, and I'll talk about that in another video. We don't even realize 3 hours has passed. What happens, we look at the clock and oh my goodness, and we do this repeatedly, sometimes longer when we can. Here's a method that actually does work. I've done it for years for myself. I've taught many people to do it. Candidly, it takes a little bit of work to learn this one. It takes some effort and desire. When I work at my job as a chiropractor, I'm going from station to station, and I'm only there for a couple of minutes, so I don't have to do this. But if I'm doing med-legal reports where I'm sitting there for hours at a time trying to catch up on that, I practice it. I can go to San Diego, I can work all day and no back problems. And I've had back injuries. You have to work at this. So here's how it goes. Am I sitting in a position, I can use a swivel chair, but it must be able to lock. If it doesn't lock and you swivel, it won't work. You have to use a chair that again is solid, and it must have a lot of padding at this place. If it doesn't, when you lean forward and practice this, it becomes uncomfortable. My chair, I paid $70 for it, the one I use at home and the one I use here. And it's very inexpensive. I don't need the big fancy chair because I can make this work. So as I sit forward, I'm able to drop my legs straight down. Now this looks odd. Most chairs are a little higher, including my one in my workstation at home. But I want to demonstrate this for you. When my leg is straight, it's impossible for me to do this. No matter who you are, in 5 minutes, we're all sitting like this. The reason is you cannot sustain this forever. You might think you are, then people move into a different area and they see a reflection. They cannot believe how much they're hanging. You're drying the ligaments, central nervous system reacts to stiffening, and it creates a pattern that degenerates joints early. Causes a lot of other issues you don't need. When this is like this, it creates that curvature on my back called lordosis to force me up right. I cannot do it. In 10 minutes though, I will fatigue, which makes me automatically think of switching legs, and I continue on the work. It puts me a little closer to the screen. I can bring it to my comfort zone. I have the variable lenses in the lens replacement, so I have to move it. Many of you out there do. Others can be at a different position. You position the computer to you that way. In 10 minutes, I will fatigue again. And that time it tells me to go through a couple of chair exercises that get me moving. I do about 3 of these on each side. I'm not contracting through, I'm gently pulling through. The premise of yoga is a passive or an outside source using gravity, like the one on the floor where you're doing this, okay? It's not contract hard here, it's push through. Your reflex will defend the weak ones. You don't want that, you want to move further. You want them involved. So leg goes down straight. In 10 minutes, it automatically makes me do it. I switch. When I do that twice, now I'm into 40 minutes, I get up and notice my leg drops down so I don't create this awkward get up like that. Now it makes me move for about 1 or 2 minutes, and I tend to decompress the back with that. I can do more exercise if I like, but if I just get up and move around, every 40 minutes it'll happen automatically without me thinking. I don't even need a program timer in the computer or on my desk. But you do have to practice. The leg must be straight down, not partial. It's there. If you can do this, it's not right. You have to get back. I tend to, at home, I have this one where I just lock my leg there, and I just do it. But in 10 minutes, I switch, and it repeatedly, so I can literally go 8, 10, 12 hours, and I don't get any back pain. But if I don't do that, I don't care who you are, what age you are, you sit there long enough, you're gonna get back pain, and that creates a chronic problem over time. Thank you. Please use caution when you're doing the home exercise program.